So win it, we pay with the pain. Just scored a touchdown, fans are screaming. Play that D, keep your hand in the game. Cause win or lose, man, you're still a champion. Gotta stay focused, bring on that win.
What's up, y'all? Hey, I am back, your boy. Sports Talk with former New York Jet wide receiver Tavon Mason. This is episode 3, Super Bowl edition. We are 2 days away from the Super Bowl. Happy Friday. Again, I gotta give a shout out to my boys, the office boys from New York, Smiz, and my boy Vils for that track, that intro track. Let's get it. You can find that track on Apple Music, Spotify. You can find it on YouTube. Type in Lex Get It. Man, play that thing, share it. We want to get that thing in the NFL as a theme song, get it on Madden. So all my Madden players, whoever listen, hey man, I got a dope song called Let's Get It. All right, we're moving right along. Hey, like I said, Super Bowl is 2 days away. I wanted to make this a special episode 3 to break down both teams and to give my thoughts of what I see. All right, so we got Cincinnati Bengals, got Joey B, Jamar Chase, we got Tyler Boyd. We got them going against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are making it back again with a different twist with it. They changed that quarterback. They got Matthew Stafford. They added Odell Beckham to the mix. They added Von Miller to the mix. Eric Weddle came out of retirement. Man, what is going on? This is going to be an insane, crazy matchup for the Super Bowl. So on the Bengals side again, we got Joey B. I'm not going to lie. In the playoffs, I thought it would be they get past probably the first round, and then typical Bengals, they fizzle out in the second round of the playoffs. Man, they rolled through the AFC North, won the AFC, got through Tennessee, the Titans. Even though Joey B was sacked 8+ times, they still came through and got the game-winning field goal by Evan McPherson to take that game. Me personally, I said it, I believe in my first podcast, my first recording, or just by posting on Twitter, that I didn't like the Titans' game plan on putting Big Derrick Henry in right away. I thought when they put him in, it kind of slowed that progress down and it slowed that offensive scheme down because of Simmons and that defense, which is playing lights out of their mind. They should have kept the young guy in and just sprinkled a little bit of Derrick Henry in there to possibly get them past that round, to get them to the next round, and then you unload Derrick Henry on. But anyway, Joey B made it through. Jamar Chase and those boys fought through in that Tennessee game and came out victorious. I'm not going to lie. I thought they wasn't going to make it past round 1. They proved me wrong. All right. Same way with the Rams. The Rams played Tampa Bay. Rams were up. Then they start to fizzle. Cam Akers with 2 fumbles. If you don't remember, Matthew Stafford had a fumble, but he got the ball back and almost gave that game away offensively, because we saw signs of the old Matthew Stafford where he having a heck of a game. Then all of a sudden he started making some passes that are very questionable that could have been picked off. Got him in, kicked the field goal, won a game. Then we moved on to the next round, and we had Cincinnati versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't think that game would be a blowout, and not only because of how Cincinnati played them in a regular season, but just the Chiefs are too up and down. If their offense are not clicking or rolling on all cylinders, full hit of steam, it's hard for that defense to pull a game out. They're not a sturdy defense. A lot of people thought that with Tyrann Mathieu being out of that Buffalo Bills game, and they still came back to win it, that if he didn't play in this game against the Bengals, then it would have been lights out for the Chiefs. But the Chiefs got out like crazy. You know what I mean? Like madmen in that first quarter. But it was the last drive of that first quarter that I believe hurt the Chiefs, and not being able to the plays they picked to try to end that half. It didn't come out well. Cincinnati ended up shutting them out for the second quarter. They went scoreless in the third quarter, and even D lineman, I believe it was Big BJ Hill, got an interception that changed the complexion of the game. And that equalizers on defense. They got Eli Apple, but if y'all don't remember, somebody that was real quiet and that made a huge amount of noise, and I believe will be the X factor in this game as well, because they don't talk about as much, is Mike Hinton. That played in the slot. He was doing his thing big time. And again, as I said before, that equalizer, no, he being the X factor, the equalizer for me was Joe Mixon. I know we talk about Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, but the reason why I say Joe Mixon, once the Bengals decided to do quick game, three-step game, catch the ball, get the ball out their hands, or started the running game, that really started to pull the Chiefs out of it, because the Chiefs were in a man over coverage. So basically, what a man over coverage is, they had the corner over top Jamar Chase, playing a little loose in an outside shade. They brought Tyrann Mathieu over to kind of like bracket, well, like what I like to call a Tom and Jerry, a cat and mouse game, like a trap. So they had corner up outside, they had Tyrann Mathieu back, and they just kind of like funnel him in. But when you do that, you take a man out the box, especially a guy like Tyrann Mathieu, who like to play up on the line or linebacker level a little bit, or to roam around. So you kind of like create a disadvantage for your defense. And Mixon was picking off 3+ yards a carry. In order to stop that, you have to bring somebody back in the box. And soon they brought somebody in the box. Jamar Chase and the boys start having a field day on Fenton on that secondary, and they couldn't do nothing. They had no answers going into that overtime. The Chiefs couldn't move it. They were awful. They were horrible. And Cincinnati got the pick, drove down. Evan McPherson came back up with a huge field goal. Then we talk about the Rams versus the 49ers. You know what I mean? Again, you got Jimmy G, $100 million man, had solid seasons with the 49ers, solid games. Had a solid game against Green Bay. His receivers were dropping the ball. Special teams made a fact. If you look at it in the divisional rounds, and even in the wild card games, field goals played a huge factor. That's why I always say personally, even as a coach, that the offense or defense is not your number one product. To me, special teams changes the complexion of the game, and we saw that those weeks leading up to the Super Bowl game. Jimmy G showed up. And what I mean by that, the 49ers really try to run Debo in the hole, which I thought was excessive. That's basically saying, yeah, you're going to put your best guy in the best play, the best situation to get yards for you. But is that discrediting the guys you have at the running back position? And are you doing too much to possibly beat up on Debo's body? We don't know. But the evidence showed that when needed, Jimmy G kind of froze. You know what I mean? And I know you guys gonna say, but well, he's going against Aaron Donald, Von Miller. Oh, that's good. That's true. But yet Jimmy G was paid to win. That's why they paid him that money. They pulled him from New England to win. But Los Angeles was able to hold off. You got Von Miller on one side, Aaron Donald on the other. That just kind of reminds me of that last year that Peyton Manning and the Broncos won a Super Bowl, and you had Ware on one end, you had Von Miller on the other end, and they terrorized Cam Newton in the Super Bowl. That reminds me of the same thing that happened to Jimmy G. And the Rams were able to come out and make it to the Super Bowl. Shout out, salute, and big ups to Odell Beckham. What he went through being with the Giants, getting his knee ripped up, getting injured there with the Giants, getting traded to the Browns. Get to the Browns. It was a kind of a collision there because they didn't know how to really use him. Wasn't really use him because you had Landry on the other side, mess his knee up. Then he's considered as a bad person. They traded him, get him out of there. And he comes with the Rams, and boom. And that game against the 49ers had over 100 yards. So he's like the silent assassin now. I think you can tell there's been a change in his game from, not saying that he turned down his stardom, but I think he's starting to see that, well, I don't gotta be so outgoing. I'm gonna be real humble, and I'm gonna thank God for allowing me to put me in this position. And now he's in the Super Bowl. All right. The biggest thing that's going to be for me with this Cincinnati Bengals team is how well this old line come through for Joe Burrow, and the offense. And we have seen in that Titans game, Joe was sacked 7+ times in that Titans game. And he was kind of like rushed around in the Chiefs game. Again, I think it's going to go back to quick game. It's going to be insane to see whether Ramsey's going to follow Jamar Chase. We know on the opposite side, Darius Williams is up and down. They were kind of like picking on him in that 49ers game. They was picking on him in that Tampa Bay game. So Jalen Ramsey had to play follow the big dog. So will we see Ramsey following Jamar Chase? Will we see Ramsey on T. Higgins? Because if he follows Jamar Chase, then you're gonna put Darius Williams on T. Higgins, and that's gonna be a mismatch. So again, even on that Bengals side, we're having Jamar Chase and Mixon as your X factors. Those guys in that their tight end are gonna be able to flow freely. I'm really looking forward to seeing the package that they put together. Are they gonna continue to run the same plays, or are they gonna mix in a little bit something to try to kind of like stunt and slow down Von Miller and Aaron Donald, because that's going to be a big task for that O line to deal with, especially the tackle that has to block Von Miller with that speed on the edge. I'm not saying that Von Miller going to get in there every time, but he's going to cause disruption, create holes where their linebackers will be able to blitz in, and we're going to see what that secondary could do with having a veteran Weddle in the backfield. The Rams, we talk about the Rams. They got Matthew Stafford, big blockbuster trade before just the beginning of the 21 season. Goff went to Detroit. Stafford went out to LA. LA started off slow and started picking it up, and here we are. They're in the Super Bowl. But again, I'm really looking forward to see how Matthew Stafford controls and handle this game. Will he try to get out and be a superstar and throw some plays where we almost lost against the 49ers, but the pick got dropped, which saved the Rams, give them one more chance to make it to the Super Bowl, in which they did. So what's Matthew Stafford will show up? Will it be the guy that try to force passes, or going to be that guy that uses what he has to get up the field and get those touchdowns? And he got a dog on that wide receiver core, you know what I mean, and dogging himself and Cooper Kupp. Shout out to you getting your award on the NFL honors. But again, seeing him, and I believe that Mike Hinton's going to match up against Kupp. That's going to be a huge matchup. Will that free up Odell Beckham Jr. and somebody that we don't talk about, because you added Odell Beckham Jr. to the mix with Cooper Kupp, is the other receiver I deem as a sleeper, Van Jefferson. All right. So Van Jefferson has showed some sparks in that 49ers game and some catches. Will he be there? Sleeper. We're having Odell and we're having Cup. I did see where Eli Apple's kind of like, he biting at the bit. He get to go against his old teammate Odell Beckham. Will he be following Odell Beckham Jr.? So this is going to be definitely a huge game. And you know what? I ain't really tap that much in on Aaron Donald and Von Miller, but Aaron Donald before Von Miller came caused so much disruption. And just think about what Von Miller brought to the table with helping to free Aaron Donald up, because somebody have to account for Von Miller coming off that edge. Right? So if he's coming off the edge that way, quarterback's going to step up in the mix of who he's going to run into. And we saw that on that last drive with the 49ers. Von Miller came around the edge. Jimmy G tried to go to his left. Aaron Donald right there forced the interception, and the Rams took it to the Super Bowl. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And, hey, I know I kind of went against the grain the first two games. I think this game I'm gonna go and pick the Cincinnati Bengals. Just for the simple fact they finish games. They finish strong. The Los Angeles Rams offense up and down, and we saw that in their playoff games of up and down, have some sparks, and then they have a couple of mix-ups where it's fumbled by Cam Akers or is Matthew Stafford trying to force passes in, and we saw that against the 49ers. He tried to force passes in. So I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals to finish it out and seal the deal. If the Bengals don't win, hey, they're going to be a real big problem, because I believe that after this season they will go and build up that front line to build that wall for Joey B to for many more to come. So again, that's just my thoughts. That's just my opinion. I'm not a sports expert. I don't believe nobody's a sports expert. I think we just love this game of football. But again, this is your boy, Tavon Mason, and you just finished up episode 3 of Sports Talk with Tavon Mason. Peace.